So this lecture, we're going to continue our discussion of ways to find the middle of a data set, right? So we're still talking about ways of finding the center. And we have two more measurements that we're going to consider. One is called the mode. The other is called the midrange. All right, so the mode is just the data value that appears the most often in the data. Now, unlike all the other central measures we're going to discuss, the mode can be used to describe qualitative data. In this set, for example, if we construct a frequency distribution, right? Remember, I just wrote down all the colors and then counted them up, right? We can see that the mode of this data set is going to be red because that one appears 6 times, and that's more than all the others. All right, so here I've got our 3 data sets again, right? The 3 we're working with in the previous lecture. And with the graphs to look at, right, it's pretty clear to see what the mode is. When you've got the graph, the mode is the peak, right? It's the highest one. So in all 3 cases here, the mode is going to be 50. Right? So once again, we're seeing that this measurement, just like the median, is not sensitive to outliers. So with that said, this measure really is the least commonly used of the 3. You would really only see it in specific situations where, for some reason, you are interested in thinking about where the data is, in a sense, the most concentrated. So our last measurement, right? Our last measurement is called the midrange. This is another one where you have to be sure to think about whether or not the data is sorted. Right, so in this set, for example, we can't just grab the first and last values in the list because the data isn't sorted. So the number that's first isn't the actual smallest value in the data set. Right? The smallest value is 22, and the biggest value is 82. And if I average those values, 22 plus 82 divided by 2, that's 52. Right? So similar to the median, right? This is the value that's in the middle of the data set. In this case, you can think of the data as being distributed along a number line, right? And the mid-range is the value that is equidistant from the 2 endpoints, right? That is, it's the middle of the segment that's formed by the 2 endpoints. Okay, so these 4 values, the mean, the median, the mode, and the mid-range, these are the 4 values we're going to be interested in when we're talking about where the center of a data set is. And really, the mean by a wide margin is the one that is used the most. So that's the one where throughout the rest of the class, we're going to be focusing most of our attention when we're having conversations about the middle of a data set. Now, in the next lectures in this chapter, right, we're done talking about finding the center. So in the next lectures, we're going to talk about methods that we can use to talk about really kind of the opposite. We're going to be thinking about how we can measure how spread out a data set is.